Hello everyone. Welcome back for some more LoFi yoga, where we are happy to embrace the inner world in spite of the chaos of the outer world. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 3, 2, 1, and breathe out 2, 3, 4. So I wanted to sort of talk about meeting yourself where you are. And that can be a hard thing for people, and it used to be very difficult for me, especially coming from a place of extreme perfectionism that I existed in for so long. And I can honestly say being your own worst critic has its advantages in that when someone tries to hurt your feelings or be mean to you and say, oh, you're this, in your head you're like, well, I've already told myself that at 3 a.m. many times before you came along. I'm well aware of that. And while that's great, it's kind of not great to be coming from a place of saying you can't tear me down because I already tore myself down first. It's not very kind to yourself. It's not healthy. I could say the opposite end of that, is being able to look in the mirror and say, no, I'm not perfect, but this is where I am and it's okay. I will never be perfect. All I have is who I am right now, and that's going to be good. And, I can say that it's something that I've recently added to my toolkit of existence, and it's been nice to have because it's given me this sense of peace that I've never had before, because it's literally me saying, I don't have everything that I want, and I may never have everything that I want, but I can still be happy with what I do have, because I do have a lot of things. Of course, this practice is a prime example of where I am in my life. It's a little wobbly, it's not perfect, but I still enjoy myself. And even though I didn't nail every move exactly, in its fullest expression, I am still getting stronger. It's still building my muscles. I'm growing, I'm learning. And that to me is amazing. And it's why I'm actually laughing at myself in the video so much, because I'm just glad that I even tried. And of course, it's always easier said than done to say that you're going to be kinder to yourself and that you're going to be more forgiving. But the real test is always in the reality of it. When you're in a moment where you're stressed out, things aren't going well, and it feels like it's all piling up, and it's those moments where you can stop and not spiral and say, I'm doing my best. This is what I have to give today, and it's going to have to cut it until I can try again tomorrow. And that has been my saving grace for a lot, because like I said, in my own life, a lot of things are uncertain. I'm still figuring things out, and it's shaky, but I'm going to ride the wave, and I'm still proud of myself every effort that I make. It's better than it was before, and that's enough for me, which is so weird to say, because like I said, I was super perfectionistic, just so hard on myself, and I put so much pressure on myself, and it wasn't only me doing it, it was also, the environment that I was in telling me that you have to be really good, you have to do these things, you have to succeed, and that's just society in general putting that pressure on everyone. And it's up to us to hold the line for ourselves and say, no, I don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. It's never going to happen. Like, perfection is impossible. But I can do my best. That is something that is possible every single day. I can show up and give 100% of whatever I have to give. Also, I am prepping chicken for this week, so I apologize if there's any noises. I am trying to multitask because I did not get this audio done on time, and I want to make sure that I have something worthwhile. Again, not perfect, but we're going to roll with it, and it's going to be great anyway. It's going to be good enough for me, and that's all that matters. Something else to remember on the journey of meeting yourself where you are is acknowledging and doesn't mean that it's going to always be that way. So while in the past you may have struggled to do something, it doesn't mean that, you're always going to struggle. It's not always going to be that way. You are going to get stronger. You are going to get better. You're going to learn more. You are going to know more. The next time you come up against that challenge, you're going to be better at it. I think it was a Grateful Dead song. Maybe Grateful Dead. I'm thinking. I think it said, if I don't get it right the first time, I'll get it right the next time. Something like that. But yeah, honestly, that's been my go-to. Don't, immediately say, oh, the last time I tried to do that, it didn't work out, so I'm never going to do it again. That's insane. How are you ever going to get good at anything? And the opposite is also true. Just because you used to be able to do something doesn't mean you always will be able to do something to the same level forever. It's not going to happen. You might be able to lift heavier one day and then you try again the next time you go to the gym and you can't do it. That doesn't mean you never will again. It just means, this time you don't have it. And that's okay. You're still getting your workout in. You're still strong. You are still doing your best. And honestly, I consider it a win any moment that I am kind to myself, when in the past I was not kind to myself. That to me is a win, regardless of whether whatever I'm attempting to do doesn't work out. I can still be proud of myself, and that is, everything as far as I'm concerned. And I guess I also want to say that coming from someone who used to not even be able to look at themselves in the mirror to now where I don't mind at all seeing myself in the mirror because I'm accepting of who I am. It's just, if you are the kind of person who has a hard time with accepting anything less than perfection from themselves, take a moment to really look within and really just see how you can start to release that, because it holds you back so much. Because what's tied up in that perfectionism is shame. And shame is something that people use to control others. And it's really only useful if that person is not willing to be honest with themselves. That's how shame works to control people. And so, you trying to be perfect all the time and not wanting to admit that you are anything less than perfect is going to keep you in a position where anyone can come along and control you, because all they have to do is make you feel like you are, they just have to embarrass you a little bit, and then you will shut down and you will fail. And that's giving other people way too much control and power over who you are and what you are capable of and what you know about yourself. And that is insane. And I used to do it all the time. I used to live in that place of shame. And I realized that it was because I was afraid to admit that I wasn't perfect. And unfortunately for past me, I was not perfect and I was never going to be perfect. And as terrible as it is that it took me so long to figure it out, I am glad that I am here. Again, that's me embracing my journey and my progress. And this channel in and of itself is honestly proof that I am no longer seeking perfection. These videos are not like A1 quality at all, but they make me happy and I'm proud because even if my videos are, janky looking or whatever, I'm still doing better than the version of myself that never had the courage to even attempt to make these videos and share them with the world or with, the audience of me who's watching these. Whatever. But the version of yourself that is willing to try will always be better than the version of yourself that's sitting there saying, oh, no, because it's not going to be perfect. I can't do it. Like, give it a try. At least try. Honestly, if your heart is telling you to do something and you feel called to do something, please do it. Even if you don't share it with anyone, if it's just for you, especially if it's just for you, do it. Do it scared, do it drunk, do it high, do it stone cold sober like me if you have to, but do it. You will always regret it if you don't. And also, just make sure that you are aware of the fact that once you start to release that sense of everything has to be perfect, there's a lot of things that come along with that. And it really does change the entire landscape of your life. And I'm saying this from the other side of it, and I am so happy to be here. I never thought that I would be okay with being messy, quote unquote messy, but it's fun, and I have never been so at peace within myself. Like, I literally had a conversation with someone and they were like, how are you doing? And I was like, my life is externally, there's a lot of fires. It's a little crazy right now. But internally, I am the best that I have been ever in my life. I genuinely can say that I know what peace feels like. And I've never felt that before. And I literally had to sit down and really figure out what this feeling was because it was so foreign to me. But I can genuinely say I am at peace for the first time in my life, and it is amazing. And a lot of that is down to me letting go of all of the expectations that I place on myself. And as I say that, in my kitchen, I have a mirror over the sink, and I wrote on it, progress, not perfection. And I wrote that months ago, and it took me until now to actually get there. And I am so happy to be here. I really am. So for the meditation aspect of this practice, I offer you the opportunity to look within and see where you could maybe be a little more kind to yourself, be a little more accepting, have a little more grace for who you are along your stumbling journey, because this is the first time you have been here that you can remember anyway. And just think about how you can put that into practice. List 3 concrete things that you can actually do that will allow you to step into meeting yourself where you are. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for sitting with me, and I hope that something in this message resonated with you. And of course, as we always do before we head out into the rest of the world, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 3, 2, 1. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And thank you so much again for listening.